force that has kindness behind it and has the community in mind.
And this was a good example of this.
It was an extraordinary example. This should be trained to officers. Now, tactically speaking, what they did was they employed a tactic called the swarm technique, which is essentially you have 4 officers, and it's tackling, but it doesn't result in serious injuries to the suspect, and it almost never results in serious injuries to the officers. But it requires something that you don't always see. They have to actually engage the person. And there is a little bit of risk involved. But the reward is so much greater. Because in a situation like we saw in San Bernardino, there are many agencies that would have just shot the guy. There are many agencies that would have expected that to be the result. But when you do that, the justice system is thwarted because everything ends right there. This individual obviously was a danger to himself. He obviously was a danger to others. He needs to be brought to justice. He needs to be judged by a jury, and if he's going to be punished, it should be carried out by a judge. When the officers use deadly force, the justice system stops right there. And what we saw in San Bernardino was just an extraordinary recognition of the police role in the justice system, which is to apprehend this person. We don't have to hurt him. We have to apprehend him. And his justice is going to come in a courtroom somewhere.
So they're trained to do what they did.
Yes.
But too often they don't.
They don't. And the reason why is because of the culture. There is what's the best way to put it? We call it the Bible. It's called POST. It offers training guidelines for officers in every scenario that they can possibly encounter. This would fall into the category of an individual who was 5150 because he was a danger to himself or others. He was clearly mentally ill on some level, but he was violent and he did have a weapon. So the thing that they're supposed to do, the number one thing that they're supposed to do, is use departmental resources. Because there were 4 officers involved in this, they had a supreme tactical advantage. When the culture is such that we have to get this guy, or we have to use force against him, or we have to do something against him that is violent, for lack of a better word, you typically have a single officer acting alone who departs from the departmental resources. He usually leaves his partner. And a lot of times you have a situation where they get themselves into a situation where they have to shoot out of it. And then they say, well, he attacked me, or he posed a threat to me. The reality is, if the proper tactics are used, not only are the officers safer, but the suspect is safer as well.
Oh, so that's perfect. Now, in both Charlotte and in Tulsa, there were single officers, right?
Yes. But again, what I'm really trying to say more than anything is it's a consciousness.
No, I know. That's very, very clear on that. That's no problem. And that'll be a part of the story.
The way you look at it. And we had the Darrell Gates model for many years in Los Angeles. And then, it shifted to the Bratton model. And these officers are going to act the way they're trained to act. I mean, they're basically, if you tell them it's a jungle out there, if you tell them every person that you meet could potentially hurt you or kill you. Yes, that is true, but it fosters an us against them mentality.